his killer, and one become my stepfather, the doctor who inadvertently set this shooting into motion. How any of us become who we are has long been a fascination of mine, a central thread in the knot of who I am. It is one of the reasons I first gravitated toward journalism. Take me back to the beginning, I ask early on in most interviews. How did we get here? And it's a game I play when stuck in traffic or standing at a boarding gate or sitting in a hospital waiting room, scanning the collected strangers who, for the moment, occupy the same center of some cosmic Venn diagram. What's your story, I wonder? Have our paths crossed before? Where did your path start? Finding that start is a lot like unrolling a ball of yarn. Not the kind that's round and plump, where a tug at one end quickly reveals the other, but the kind that's a colorful tangle, all knotted and entwined. My stepfather's was that second kind of yarn. Finding where it started was a journey backward, through coincidences and connections, deliberate choices and chance events, global forces and intimate interactions. A few moments became signposts while I unraveled this epic string, and they shaped the book you were about to listen to. The first was the evening I messaged the police officer's children. "This may be one of the stranger Facebook notes you have ever received," I began. "I am a journalist, and I am researching a story from 54 years ago about the night your father was killed. It's a night when my family and yours intersected, briefly and indirectly, and I am writing about the effect of that one night on 3 generations of 3 families." The second moment occurred on the moonless evening when I stood in the crumbling ruins of an Illinois prison, shining a flashlight into the room where a warden's wife had been killed more than 100 years before. I had come there with her great-great-step-granddaughter, and together we retraced the steps of the woman for whom she'd been named. While these children and great-great-grandchildren were filling gaps beyond their memories, I was seeing how rarely we know the whole of a story, yet how directly we are the results of things we know nothing about. My stepfather changed the lives of the officers' children, but until I sent my note, they had no idea he even existed. The murder of the warden's wife had shaped the life of her great-great-step-granddaughter, and the next century of American prison life, but until we met, she didn't fully understand how. And then came the pandemic. When COVID-19 first shut down the planet, I happened to be in the middle of writing the 1918 chapter of this book. 1918 was a ghastly year. More people died from the 1918 flu epidemic than from any other natural event in human history up to that point. Far more than died in World War I, which was fought during the same year. And yet, I told my husband, I would rather be back in 1918. I know how that ends. History divides neatly into chapters only in retrospect. In real time, we experience it as a jumble, a hurtling through the darkness by the light of an inadequate lamp. Our lives are prologue to one version of a story and epilogue to another. We don't get to see the all of it, or even the more of it, unless a family historian or a fervent genealogist or a somewhat obsessed author comes along to map the whole. One day closer to whatever comes next, my family and I would toast at dinner each night during most of 2020. I wrote this book in that same spirit, telling the tale as it was lived. The people in the early chapters are the forebears of the people in the later ones, but they don't know that yet, might never know. At the start, they have no idea that a train crash in Altoona, a motorcycle race in Chicago, or a blazing fire in a prison tower in Joliet will start a cascade that will set the stage for a police officer's death. They can't know which family will eventually create the cop, which his killer, and which my stepfather. They could not know how some doors were closed.